Look, it's an interesting grape. If you take it back to its history in Burgundy, really, it was the grape for the people. It crops nicely, like you can get a solid yield off it, and it makes beautiful, delicious, fresh wine. Not to say it can't make serious wine as well, because we've all had great Côte de Brouilly and wines like that have had some really good cellar age. But it tends to be a wine that is delicious, fresh and young, because it's full of all those primary characters, that are kind of like blue fruits and red fruits. And there's an element of tannin to it as well, and a sort of a fresh acidity. And I think, as a young wine, I just really love all that stuff. So I sort of often think with Gamay, yes, it might age, but why not just drink it young? It's been a really lovely revolution in light to medium-bodied red wine, particularly light-bodied red wines, because I think Australians have worked out how to drink properly. We've worked out now that these wines are ready to go with food. And so we're looking at wines that are just delicious to drink by the glass, or that really go with a range of foods. And Pinot Noir is a no-brainer. Now the Pinot revolution's kind of happened. The next wave seems to be in Gamay. It's an amazing foil for almost every food. I love it with fire, so things that have been on the char grill, it's really good. But I think because the fruit flavours are so primary, with those blueberries and cherries and sort of musk, and that tends to work very well with more savoury flavours like the umami things that come in mushrooms, duck spring rolls or Peking duck. It seems to work extremely well with that. But I love it particularly with char grilled lamb cutlets and anything that's had a bit of fire there as well. In the last 2 years, there's all these little Gamays popping up as people are putting more vines in the ground. So I think winemakers are going to treat it like Pinot Noir, but probably work a little bit more towards that carbonic maceration and make those really lovely primary wines. And I feel like in its early years, it's going to be a wine that is drunk fresh, but I think over the next 5 to 10, we're going to see some very serious Gamay plantings, and consequently some more serious Gamay wines that are getting more into that sort of cru Beaujolais status. Pinot is very limited to where you can grow great Pinot in this country, right? It's got to be in the very southern part, and it's got to be in or a bit of altitude, or ideally both. And I think Gamay seems to be able to handle a little bit more sunlight. So as we're moving into warmer years, some of those cool climates that are getting warmer, I think where arguably it might be getting too warm for Pinot, that's where Gamay can be quite successful. And we're seeing that in the Yarra Valley. Some of the north-facing slopes that were producing Pinot back in the 90s, they're being planted to Gamay now, and it's producing some beautiful wine. That's pretty exciting.